All right, what up, perps? So, get my headphones right here. So today I'm playing around, got a couple minutes, looking around, seeing what Congress is doing, and found something a little interesting. So let's do a screen share. Da, 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 da. Let's see whether this does this like I want it to. Let's do a regular screen share. Get that out of my way. Now, went over to the House Judiciary Committee today. I'll make that a little bigger. So went over the House Judiciary Committee today, just to look, see what what's been happening. Yeah, my face is dirty, been at work. So anyway, Dick Durbin and his buddies come down here and where's it at? Well, let's look at this. So he introduced a bill, apparently to stop firearms trafficking to Mexico. Now, Mexico gets fentanyl, heroin, coke, any kind of drug you can think of. They traffic people back and across the border. They deal with other countries who they can get arms from quite easily, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of guns that the cartels have, like, I don't know, M2 machine guns that they didn't get from Dick's Sporting Goods. And if Dick gets mad about that little joke, well, they can just eat one. Fill in the blank. So anyway, so he introduces this bill. Let's see. Let's read through some of this. The Stop Arming Cartels Act would stem what they call the Iron River. Now they got the Iron Pipeline. Now they got the Iron River. Shit, I don't know how much more iron they're going to come up with. And this was done yesterday. This was done on the 26th. I looked at Congress, Library of Congress. I can't find the text of this bill yet, but he does post at the bottom of this bill. And we're going to look through it real quick. Why? Well, just because. I can quit dropping everything. All right. So, Washington. Today, U.S. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin, properly named, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, led a group of 6 Senate colleagues to introduce the Stop Arming Cartels Act. The bill would stem the Iron River of firearms trafficking from the United States to Mexico, enabled by weak American gun laws and gun industry practices. The deadly stream of firearms trafficking exacerbates violence, enables cartels who smuggle migrants to our southern border and facilitate the illicit trade of narcotics across the border back into the United States. Seems like a good reason to lock the border down, doesn't it? According to a recent study from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, 70% of crime guns recovered from Mexico and submitted for tracing are U.S. sourced. I'm not saying they're completely wrong on that. A lot of their firearms could come from the United States and make their way to Mexico. However, if we had control of our border, we could stop that without stripping Americans of their rights. Now, there's a quick hit right here. At the hands of the NRA and the gun lobby, our country's lax gun laws have created a deadly, vicious cycle of firearms trafficking that's riddled with violence, illicit narcotics, and chaos. That's not on American gun owners. It's not. Those criminals. They do crimes. What's up, my son? Are you playing the tablet? Okay. I'll plug it in a sec. So anyway, let's get through this, because they're blaming NRA, they're blaming gun owners, weak gun laws. Our gun laws and gun industry practices fuel an iron river of firearms trafficking that supplies Mexican drug cartels and other criminal elements in the region. And it's time to cut off the Iron River. Throw a dam in it, son of a bitch. Oh, well, he didn't say that. He said cut it off at its source by implementing stronger gun safety laws in America, which means restricting your rights, because other people did stuff. Okay. And the last time I heard of guns being, and this where we get into percentages, because they don't tell you the real numbers, they just throw a percentage at you. But last time I heard of guns being tracked back to U.S. gun stores, it was actually the ATF that pressured gun stores to sell guns to people that they knew would bring them back across the border. That was that whole Fast and Furious thing. Just remember that. Let's see. We can disarm cartels and help prevent the violence, drug trafficking, and irregular migration. It's illegal immigration, jackass. Associated with cartel power and violence at home and abroad. I urge my colleagues to support this critical piece of legislation. Let's look at what this critical piece of legislation does. We're going to buzz through it because it's down here at the bottom. I hate reading their little bullet points on stuff, but we're going to pull up the actual legislation. So let's put the zooms on that a little bit. Now, all of this stuff about stopping these cartels from getting guns, this makes it funny. To prohibit the importation, sale, manufacture, transfer, or possession of 50 caliber rifles and for other purposes. Now, all of us, when we hear 50 caliber rifles, we think, wow, you know, Barrett, something like that. But there are a lot of 50 caliber rifles out there that shoot the 50 BMG round, but there are a lot of 50 caliber rifles that shoot other 50 caliber rounds, 50 caliber Beowulf, stuff like that. Those are still 50 caliber rounds. So they want to ban anybody in the U.S. from being able to manufacture or sell those to private citizens from FFLs. They will grandfather in your 50 caliber rifle. And remember, and I've read the text of this bill earlier, they don't mention how the 50 caliber round has to be constructed. In other words, they don't mention that it's a metallic cartridge or anything like that, just that the gun fires a 50 caliber projectile. That's a lot of open territory, baby. Because if you got a rifled muzzle loader shooting a 50 caliber round or larger, well, guess what? All right, so look at the people on this real fast. We got Durbin, we got Blumenthal slobbering ass. Feinstein, who couldn't find her butt with both hands and someone helping. Ron Wyden, he's another slobber, and I really want to hear him say suffer and succotash. Mr. Welch can't remember offhand. Mr. Kelly's an absolute moron. And Miss Hirono. Thank you, Hawaii. We really, really appreciate you voting for her. All of us from the heart. Following bill was read twice, and then it was referred to the judiciary. And I haven't gone through and put this all into the text of 922 or 18 USC. I'm not doing that because this bill's absolutely retarded, but this is what the Senate's pushing. Be it enacted by the House of Representatives, Short Act, Stop Arming Cartels, prohibition of rifles capable of firing 50 caliber ammunition. So, and I'll remember put a link to this in the description of the video, and you guys will get it. So 922, this is where the criminal act. Well, no, 921. This definition of 922 is fuck it. It's something like that. It's all criminal code. How about that? Rifles capable of firing 50 caliber ammunition in general, except as provided in paragraph 2, it shall be unlawful for any person to import, sell, manufacture, transfer, possess, or here is my fucking favorite phrase ever. Enter affecting interstate or foreign commerce. Really, really, really like to see that clause wiped off the face of the fucking earth. A rifle capable of firing a .50 caliber ammunition. So it doesn't mention 50 BMG, so you're going for the 50 BMG rounds. This is anything firing a 50 caliber projectile. And I don't believe it says anything about, through the energy of an explosive or anything like that. So if you had a 50 caliber air rifle, which they do have, which I wouldn't mind having one, guess what? That would be illegal too. And of course, they're going to grandfather your shit if you already own it. And they, of course, leave themselves out of this little deal. It shall not apply to importation, manufacture, for sale, transfer, possession by a United States Department agency. So, of course, they take themselves out of this equation. Grandfathered rifles shall not apply, sell, transfer, possession of any rifle otherwise lawfully possessed on or before the enactment of the Stop Cartels Act. But guess what you get to do? Let's see. Let me walk down here. Inclusion of rifles. So they're putting these, and they want you to register these in the NFA. And guess what they'll do? They will let you do that for free for 12 months after the enactment of this act. So they will cut the tax. So you won't have to pay anything to register your 50 caliber Beowulf, anything like that. But you got to register. According to them. What did I do? So little things that piss me off. Anyway, so yeah, I filmed this shit live, guys. I don't do a whole lot of editing, so you're gonna have to get over it. So they want you to register it. They're actually going to put these in because, see, anything 50 cal and under is fine right now. 50 cal or over a 50 cal. So if you had a 0.51 cal, that is a destructive device that has to be registered on the NFA. They want 50 cals registered on the NFA. So again, don't just think of it as 50 caliber, BMG, Barrett. Nope. Talking anything that fires a 0.50 projectile. It's a lot of guns. And as far as I know, not a single goddamn one of them's been used in a crime in the U.S. Like I said, cartels ain't getting their 50 caliber machine guns from Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, anything like that. What do you think they're getting? They get drugs from overseas. You don't think they get guns there? Effective date, and then this is where they go in. Amendments made by the subject 12 months after the effective date of this act. Registration, notwithstanding subparagraph, other provisions of any person possessing a rifle capable of firing 50 caliber ammunition. So they don't mention the type of that 50 cal, which is not registered to such person in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record, shall register each such rifle so possessed with the secretary in such form and manner as secretary in this 12-month period. No fee or tax shall be imposed with respect to the registration. Inclusion in the registry, that's where they want you to register it. But get this, there's another piece to this, because this is still all going through transfer records and all that, Internal Revenue Code, yada yada. Exception to coverage under the Protection of the Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Well, what does that have to do? Well, they want to do another backdoor way to get after gun manufacturers, gun sellers. So let's see if this makes sense without me putting it into and biting in front. Here it is. This will make sense without me doing the whole code thing. The following: an action brought against a manufacturer or seller that knowingly or sells or transfers a qualified product, 50 cal or better, or attempts or conspires to do so, knowing or having reasonable cause to believe. That reasonable cause to believe, who gets to decide what's reasonable? The government. And they fit this in, this foreign kingpin stuff. Anyway, they're trying to get around the Protection in Arms Act, where you could sue the gun manufacturers or the Mexican government. Underneath this bill, I do believe the Mexican government would have standing to sue gun manufacturers in the United States. This gets into narcotics traffickers. I haven't looked too much into that yet. Basically, if you're identified as a trafficker, you can't have a gun. Typically, if you're identified as a major trafficker in narcotics, you can't have a gun anyway, because you're more than likely a convicted felon in the United States. I don't think there was anything else. Oh yeah, right now, if you go to a gun store, you buy multiple handguns, it's reported to the ATF. We already know that multiple sales of any gun are reported to the ATF right now. But this puts it into law that sales of any combination of firearm or just rifles themselves, multiple sales, would have to be reported to the ATF. And you get the knock knock. Knock knock, why'd you buy that? Knock knock, ATF. Dog, bang. Yeah. So anyway, I ran into that today. I thought you guys might find this a little interesting, or like I do, it just pisses you off because these people are fucking tyrants. So you first, pretty cool. And since I'm not on a live, keep that thing on you at all times. And I'm out. Much love for all you guys. You guys take them easy.